So everyone that knows I'm on Mounjaro seems to say the same three things to me. 1, you don't need to lose any more weight. 2, all you've got to do is eat less and move more. And 3, I don't suppose you can eat that because you're starving yourself, aren't you? Well, today we're going to pick one of those topics and we're going to do a deep dive on it. So if you stick around, we'll get straight into it. So I'm Manders Mounjaro and I've lost 75 pounds now taking Mounjaro. And the change has been absolutely magnificent for me and it's been a real game changer, and you'll hear very few complaints, if any at all, regarding side effects. But that's just been my journey so far. Now, the subject I'm going to tackle today is the one where people say, I don't suppose you can eat that because you're starving yourself because you're on Mounjaro. Now, I'm going to show you today that isn't the reality of being on Mounjaro, and that you can eat pretty much anything you want within reason and in moderation. So for me, that means if I want to have a pizza, I'll have either a small pizza or a couple of slices of pizza or a half a pizza. It doesn't have to mean you're just crunching on carrots, you're just chewing on a bit of lettuce and that kind of thing. So I'm going to show you the real relatable food that I eat in a day whilst I'm taking Mounjaro. What you've also got to realise when you're taking Mounjaro is it completely resets your appetite. You've got the appetite suppression, you've got the food noise, which is absolutely mind-blowing for me. But you do get to the point sometimes where you're forcing yourself to eat. So for people to say, oh, you can't eat that, you're starving yourself, is absolutely nuts. So let's talk about how Mounjaro's changed my eating habits. And it's changed it massively. It's changed your portion sizes, so you're not going to eat what you used to eat. You're going to eat a lot smaller portions, and you're going to eat a lot slower as well. Your appetite reset, if it's anything like mine, has been phenomenal, and you need to listen to your fullness cues as well. Whereas before, I would just eat until I felt so full, because I like that feeling of being so full. That happens a lot sooner when I eat now, and I really enjoy being able to turn my back on food, walk away from food, and leave food on my plate as well, because it's not a feeling I've ever experienced in the past. And what I have had to do is change my complete sort of mindset towards protein-based foods. And I've mentioned it in my previous videos, and this may come as a shock to a few of you, but I was vegetarian up until about 12-18 months ago, and I had been for 5 years. Woo! And now I've found I eat a lot of meat, but I'm eating a lot of meat because I want the protein. And it's a bit of a it's a bit of a weird one, because there's still some meats I don't enjoy or I don't like, but I find myself eating them because I want to get the protein in and making sure I hit those goals. And I aim for about 130 grams of protein every single day, which I feel is about right for me, for my weight. And I do go to the gym sort of 3 times a week as well. And what I didn't want to do was lose too much muscle mass on this Mounjaro journey. So I feel like that's kind of worked for me. So before we get into the actual food, and I am going to show you photos of my food, I'm going to show you videos of my food, and I'm going to show you all my meals and pretty much everything I've eaten in a day. But before we get to that, I'm going to tell you about the rules that I follow whilst I'm on Mounjaro, whilst I'm eating. So rule number 1 is a protein in every meal. And as I previously said, protein is so important on this journey, and every single video you watch or every single thing you read on the internet, it is protein, protein, protein. When you're on Mounjaro, you need to up your protein, you need to focus on protein, and you need to make it your number 1 goal. The second rule is eat slower. Your appetite suppression, you're going to feel fuller sooner anyway, and that's going to help you along the way. And rule number 3 is never eat past the comfortable fullness. And I think you'll find, and it has for me, that I don't tend to do this so much now. 1, I get fuller quicker, and 2, I can feel the signs of when it's time to quit, when it's time to push that plate away and say, no, I'm done now. And rule number 4, which is a complete non-negotiable for me, is hydration. My Yeti bottle goes everywhere with me, and I drink and drink and drink. I just feel completely different when I am dehydrated. I never used to realise it before, and I was probably dehydrated all the time. But now when I don't drink enough, I can 100% know I'm dehydrated. So rule number 4, non-negotiable, hydration. Right, so I promised you all food pics and food videos. So let's start with breakfast. And we'll have a quick look at the breakfast that I would normally have when I'm at home. So, got to start the day with a nice coffee. And that's my black coffee, 2 sweeteners that I would have most mornings. I would then generally start the day with this, which is the Ultimate Diet Breakfast Shake, which is 192 calories and 23 grams of protein. So that would be generally what I would have on a work day. However, today I am working from home because I was out all night last night. So this is my breakfast, and it's a bit of a treat. We have got ham and eggs, and that's about 320 calories and just under 60 grams of protein. Right, should we talk about snacking in between meals? Now, do I snack? Yes, I do. What do I snack on? Now, I tend to snack on healthier stuff than I've ever snacked on in my life. The cravings that I used to get when I was being unhealthy before I was taking Mounjaro are completely different. I was a massive chocoholic. Do I ever eat chocolate now? Yeah, occasionally. Do I crave chocolate like I used to do before? Not at all. Now, whether that was a sugar addiction, I would imagine it probably was. If I'm snacking now, I do love a banana. I do like eating high protein snacks, but I'll mostly snack on probably fruit these days. So if I feel I need a bit of a sugar kick, I tend to have an orange. And I'll tell you another thing which is really useful. When I do occasionally get a sugar craving, rather than reaching for a massive great bar of dairy milk as I would have done in the past, I tend to have a glass of Pepsi Max now. And I know these sugar-free fizzy drinks have their naysayers, but for me, I just, every now and then, need a little bit of a sweet kick just to taste it. And I'll have a small glass of Pepsi Max, and it does the trick 100% for me. But I think you'll find, if you're anything like me, when you're on Mounjaro, you're not going to get massive cravings for food anyway, because you always tend to feel fairly full, and you don't really feel like you need these extra snacks. And if you're doing all the right things during your meals, your high proteins, you're going to be fairly full most of the time. And I know that's how I feel. The days of me feeling so hungry and craving food, for now, whilst I'm on this medication, they've completely gone. And if you're on this journey, you'll know what I mean, but it feels amazing. If you're thinking about starting this journey, you'll be shocked. You'll be absolutely blown away by how you feel, how it breaks that food addiction, and how it makes you feel all round healthier. And for me, it was pretty much from day one. Right, so this is not my typical lunch, but there's 2 things amazing about this. Now, this is Thai, pineapple and chicken fried rice. Now, the 2 amazing things about it is, 1, it tastes absolutely amazing, and 2, it's leftovers. Never in a million years would old me have had leftovers, because I would have whacked all that in my gob the same day I bought it. So that's an absolutely amazing lunch. It's probably around about 600 calories and maybe 20 grams of protein. Because it's a takeaway, it's really hard to judge. And I've also got one of these, and then this is from Aldi's, and this is a protein rice. And that's 182 calories and 14 grams of protein. But all in all, not the normal lunch I would have, but I said I would show you what I was having for lunch, dinner and breakfast. So I'll be honest, and this is exactly what I'm having. I'll see you at dinner time. So what has Mounjaro actually done to my appetite then? Now, I feel like I'm finally eating like a normal person, and this has never been me before. Even when I was doing healthy eating, Weight Watchers, Slimming World, Atkins diet, calorie deficit, fasting, I never actually felt like a normal person. The food was always controlling me. I wasn't in control of it, it was in control of me. But that's not the case on this medicated weight loss journey. And to be honest, I enjoy food just as much as I previously did, but I enjoy it in moderation, whereas before I enjoyed it because I wanted to feel full and I was a greedy little boy. So Honestly, I'm 53 years old and it's the first time in absolutely decades food has felt this simple for me, and I'm loving every second of it. So dinner this evening is this deconstructed lasagna. How posh does that sound? So simple, so easy to make, and 336 calories, 43 grams of protein. Absolutely banging. And I'll probably follow it up with one of these. So this is again from Aldi, and that is 237 calories, 30 grams of protein. So that's dinner tonight. I've still got some calories left, so a little bit later I'll have one of these, diet meal replacement, and that one is, I think it's 247 calories and 20 grams of protein. So that's my dinner for this evening, and a little snack later. Before we go on to some advice for anyone about to embark on a Mounjaro journey, I just want to say thanks ever so much for all the support on the channel. Every single time I click on it, it's just getting bigger and bigger, and I am so grateful. I just wanted to say thanks for everyone that's ever liked, commented, or subscribed to the channel. And if you can do all those mad things you have to do on YouTube, like subscribe to a channel, like a video, comment, hype, put your bell on, and all those weird things, then I would absolutely be so grateful. I've got plenty more content coming over the next few months, and one of those things is going to be maintenance, and no one's going to want to miss that, because the videos I've seen on maintenance, it really is tough, but I'm going to give it my best shot, and how I'm going to tackle that yet, I don't know. But if you could like this video, if you could subscribe to this video, and if you could comment on this video, that would be amazing. Also, if you've got a question for my weekly Q&A video, which I release on a Saturday, please leave it down below in the comments, mark it Q&A, and I'll read your question out and fumble my way through it on Saturday. Right, now we can carry on with the rest of the video. So I wanted to talk briefly about advice, food advice for people that may be starting Mounjaro, and it's some of the things that I've done to help me along the way. And as I mentioned earlier, I've lost 75 pounds now in 6 months. So if you follow this advice, it really, really does work. So eat slowly, stay hydrated, don't fear the small portions. The small portions are the reason you're going to lose weight. Don't overfill your plate, because all that's going to happen is you're going to end up throwing it away. Focus on your protein, and remember your appetite will vary from day to day. And you will find, and I've found, that as the week goes on, and I'm injecting on a Sunday now for some reason, I have no idea how that's happened, but I'm injecting on a Sunday now, and it does occasionally make weekends a little bit tougher. So as the medication wears off inside your body, you do find the little bits of food noise, and the appetite suppression is less. But it's kind of a given, and I've always said I don't want the Mounjaro to do all the work. I need to be a big boy, and I need to learn to do these things myself and learn these habits, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. Is it working? We'll see. As always, if you've got this far, just wanted to say thanks ever so much for watching. I'm very mindful that it's coming up to Christmas, and people get a little bit short on time, so I wanted to keep this video a little bit shorter. My videos just seem to be getting longer and longer, but I've purposely made this one a little bit shorter because you're all out there doing your Christmas shopping and buying all the nice food and rushing around like lunatics as we do at Christmas. So purposely a short video, and they probably will be on the run up to Christmas, and then we'll pick it up after Christmas with where we'll get stuck into some decent topics. But there'll be a video out on Saturday, Q&A and weekly update. So I'll see you all then. But in the meantime, have a look at my other videos. I've got my 6-month update, which is out now. My 5-month update is also there. My 4-month update is also around. And I'll stick the links for those up here. But as always, thanks for watching.